You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah!
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is our second part of our show for Thursday. I have Brian Armstead calling all the way from Maryland. Is it springtime up there yet in Maryland, Brian?
Oh, James, in a big-time way. It's 80 degrees yesterday. They're talking about 80 degrees today. I dug my cabriolet out of the garage.
Yeah.
Top-down weather today, my friend. Winter's history here in the state of Maryland.
We hope it is, but you know how God is. He does have a sense of humor. About Easter, y'all are probably going to get 12 inches of snow. I shouldn't say that because it's always what happens down here. We don't get snow, but we'll get a frost, and then everybody will whine about having a frost and their gardens go away. But now you wrote me that you I didn't get the chance to drive a Prius because, believe it or not, I have to work for a living, and my day job says I have to stay at work pretty much. And I didn't get a chance to go to the brand new car Toyota place and drive a Prius, but you drove a Range Rover, a diesel Range Rover, and you're going to do a little report on it. Is that what you did this week on a Range Rover?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
People have always looked at Range Rover as an aspirational vehicle.
Yes.
You know, who doesn't want a Land Rover Range Rover? I mean, it's big, it's stately, it's got luxury out the yin-yang.
Mm-hmm.
This past week, James, I had a chance to test drive the Range Rover Sport. Now, the Range Rover Sport is not the top of the line Range Rover, the big luxury Range Rover.
Right.
It's a smaller version. It's built more for road prowess and handling agility as opposed to full-out luxury with the larger version.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to tell you, I had two cars to choose from last week, a rare double booking for me. Had an Audi S5 Quattro, which is a fabulous car in its own right, and the Range Rover Sport Turbo Diesel. I didn't drive the Audi a single mile while I had the Range Rover in my possession. And the reasons are several. Number one, it's a Range Rover. It's stately. It makes a statement when you drive it down the road. People want to know what this vehicle is. Range Rover Sport drivers from previous generations, several of them rolled down the window at traffic lights and said, "Hey, is that the new Sport?" Well, clearly it is because it says so on the back of the car, and that's why they roll down the window. But, it's just a way to engage conversation.
I figured they're going to ask if they had any Grey Poupon. That's usually what... Excuse me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
That would be the other Brit, Rolls Royce.
Oh, okay. I just, when people roll down windows down here, we're kind of like, hey, we're from Alabama, we're lost, where's the beach, That's usually what they're doing.
Exactly. But the difference between this Range Rover Sport and most of the Range Rover Sports out there is for 2016, they've got a 3-liter, 254 horsepower V6 diesel.
Woo!
It's a turbo diesel that just provides great acceleration, incredible fuel economy. I got over 20 miles a gallon for the week that I drove the car. And that's, for a vehicle that weighs 5,200.
I was going to say almost over 2 tons.
It's no lightweight.
It is. That's a heavy vehicle. And you got over 20 miles to a gallon combined driving in town and highway?
Combined driving in town and highway, 22 miles per gallon. I was very pleased because there were a couple of situations where I wanted to see what turbo diesel was all about, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Now, when you first step into the Range Rover Sport at nighttime, there are 2 puddle lights that illuminate the logo or the outline of the car onto the ground.
Oh.
Not a necessary feature, but a really nice feature. It kind of lets you know, hey, I've got something special here. I really dig these illuminated puddle lights that Ford and BMW and a lot of the manufacturers are putting on their cars now.
It also gives you more visibility. People can see you better too. It makes you more visible.
No, this is not really. This is more ceremonial,
James,
because it just shines on the concrete. It's the logo of the Range Rover itself.
Oh, okay.
It's really kind of like a fun feature of the.
I thought you were talking about something just kind of, like we have these cars down here that have all these lights on the bottom, and you can see them way off. You go, what is that car coming at me down there? You can see.
Well, as you probably know, the rage all these days are these LED bars that sit across the top.
Right.
Those things will blind you. They'll blind you in a heartbeat. crazy.
It is. That's why I thought they had something like that shining down towards the ground that they made people see it more visible. Because I put LED lights on my motorcycle, the ones that change colors, to let people see me at night when I'm driving. Because the gaudier I am at night, the better it is for them not to run into me on a motorcycle. But I thought maybe that's what they were doing. But now tell me more about this Range Rover. How was the acceleration off from a red light, and how quiet was the engine? Could you hear it was a diesel, or was it noisy?
Yes,
yes.
Okay. Oh, yes, you can hear it. And I love the fact that you can hear it, James.
Good.
I like the sound of a diesel engine.
I don't.
And if you're familiar with the Porsche Boxster and the Subaru four-cylinder Boxster type engines,
yeah,
they make kind of a punching noise when they accelerate. They do. And it's such a unique sound. And when you hear one coming by that has a large exhaust on it, you're like, wow, that sounds great. It's the same kind of thing with a diesel. This thing sounds like a mini F-150 or a mini, GMC diesel
Duramax
truck.
Like a Duramax.
And that's a positive to me.
Yeah, it is.
Because I want to hear that distinctive chugga diesel sound, because it's so smooth. It's not obtrusive in any way. There's no smoke. There's no soot.
Oh,
These
yeah.
are not the diesels of the past.
Absolutely, yes.
And it just sounds, when you put your right foot in it, James, it just really, man, I got to tell you, it's a sweet sounding automobile SUV. It's and diesels right now may not be in particular favor because of the whole Dieselgate type of scandal that Volkswagen and Audi are going through. But I tell you, if you do not shop for a turbo diesel from manufacturers who are doing it right, like Land Rover and BMW and Mercedes-Benz, then you're really missing an opportunity to drive a vehicle that is super fuel efficient, super reliable. I mean, diesels properly maintained get hundreds of thousands of miles out of them. If you look at these large rigs on the road, and I know they're built for commercial use, but sometimes you'll see, I look at the Craigslist a lot for used automobiles.
Right.
And every once in a while, a tractor, which is the front part of a tractor trailer for our listeners, will leak over to the automobile side. And you see these things used with 800,000 miles out of it. And they 1.2 million miles. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
And they're wanting what do they want for those things?
They're running like a top.
They're selling them for $50,000 to $100,000 in that area for these vehicles that have 500,000 miles or more on them.
Now, for those that don't know, and I know you do this every day, James, so I'm not trying to step into your lane here, but diesel engines are compression ignition. There are no spark plugs. There are no spark plug wires. The diesel fuel and air mixture is compressed, and then it ignites, and that's how you get propulsion. So, as from a cost perspective, a maintenance perspective, you have fewer moving parts or fewer hard parts to replace as you start to accumulate miles.
Sure.
You keep some fresh, EPA compliant, California compliant diesel in the car. I forgot the name of the current diesel fuel blends, but they're super. They're very low in sulfur. They're super clean.
They're low in sulfur, but the only thing that I know and engineers know is all these newer diesels like Range Rover, Volkswagen, Power Stroke, Duramax, they're made and require anywhere between 47 to 50 cetane to run properly and not soot up. And unfortunately, the EPA it allows the manufacturers to sell down here, I don't know where you live, only 41 cetane rated. I don't know where you live, but I know I've talked to engineers out west, and they say average around the country is around 38 to 40 on cetane rating, which causes a lot of carbon deposits and that sticky, sooty stuff, causing EGR valves to clog up and not work, and on TDI diesels for the intake in there where the EGR valve is to just get restricted from carbon, sticky stuff, due to the incomplete burning of fuel getting recirculated into the system, making a real big mess. But it's amazing when that first tank of diesel fuel that you get from a brand new vehicle, it runs so well because it's 50 cetane. That's why we tell people to put cetane booster in their diesel engines to keep them visiting me, because I get to spend a lot of money cleaning all that stuff out when they get about 80 to 100,000 miles on them. If people would use cetane booster, every tank of gas or every tank of fuel they got, I wouldn't see them half as much as I see them, at 50, 80, and 120,000 miles getting maintenance done because of carbon coking, as it's called. And I didn't know if you knew that or not. Anyway, I just kind of throwing that out there for those that want to buy a diesel.
Well, James, let's give them a parallel so most people can truly understand what you're saying. cetane is to diesel what octane is to our gasoline-powered cars.
Yes.
And because we have these ethanol blends around the country during the wintertime, the ethanol is very corrosive in these engines. And, for gasoline-powered Land Rover, Range Rover Sport models, you would probably want to add an ethanol, something that offsets the effect of the ethanol in the gasoline. So that's a very good maintenance tip. And I do want to point out that the Land Rover Range Rover Sport is available with the 3-liter V6 that we're talking about, a 3-liter V6 supercharged with 340 horsepower.
Whoa, supercharged.
A 3-liter V6 supercharged with 380 horsepower, a 5-liter V8 supercharged with 510 horsepower, and the Mac Daddy of them all, a 5-liter V8 supercharged with 550 horsepower. If you can only imagine the acceleration with 550 horsepower.
And that's a diesel or gasoline?
No. Just the only diesel is the 3-liter V6.
Okay.
That was the first one on the list.
All right, good. Yeah, but so the reality is that 5-liter one will pass everything but a gas station. Is that what if you've got to worry about gasoline, then probably the Land Rover, Land Rover is not. Absolutely.
Yeah, these are not inexpensive vehicles. My test vehicle had a base price of $71,450 with options, including a whole lot of goodies. Came up to $82,281, and with destination charge $84,286. But you get a whole lot of standard features. One thing I really like, at night or even in the daytime, it has a GPS-based, navigation system, of course, but it shows the speed zone as you're traveling. Like if you're in a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone, it will display a 25-mile-an-hour road sign in the instrument cluster, so you can be aware of your speed at all times, which is particularly useful if you're traveling in a school zone.
Absolutely.
Now, if you go 26 miles an hour or any speed above that 25 miles an hour, you get a red box flashing around the perimeter of your road sign that says, "Hey, Brian, you're in a 25-mile-an-hour zone," and it shows you the speed that you're going beside it. You're now going 55 miles an hour. Hey, buddy, you're breaking the law here. Why don't you back it on?
That is fascinating.
It's a great reminder.
That is wonderful. Brian, you give us a lot of information about that, and I want you to call again next week because it's turning pretty nice. I never have driven in a brand new Range Rover like that. The only thing I've driven close to that would be a Tesla S, and that was pretty impressive, and it had similar things, but still, a Tesla S doesn't cost as much as this car. A Tesla S, which is not as dependable as you're telling me, the Range Rover and some other things.
Well, the Model S can go for more than $100,000, James. Don't be confused now.
Well, the one I drove in, the guy said he got a bargain with all the goodies on it. It was only $68,000. I went,
I don't believe your friend. You can't attest the Model S.
I don't know.
I don't believe him.
I believe he was including, Brian, I think he was including his tax credit.
He probably got tax credits.
Yeah, he was including that in the price.
He got tax credits.
Was it 30%?
I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was still an impressive car.
It was $100,000 plus, and then he got some tax credits.
The only thing I know is I can't afford to buy anything like that.
Neither can I, my friend. I've got an 03 S-Class and a 94 Mercedes Cabriolet, and those keep me motoring, and I didn't pay a lot for them, and I have a whole lot of fun driving them.
I'm just going to stick with my little 2004 Prius and puddle on the highway at 50 miles to a gallon. Hey, Brian, thank you so much for calling. We look forward to hearing you next week at 7:15 your time, 6:15 our time. And thank you so much for calling, and I'll be posting this, and I'll put it on your wall again for you, okay, sir?
Have a great day.
All right, thank you so much.
Have a great day, brother.
All right, bye-bye now. All right, hey, it's James Morris. Give us a call, 850-763-0555 tomorrow morning when we're back on the air. Bye-bye now.
James Auto Center, we fix it right.